What's up, everybody? It's Jay with the Scraps and Taps, back to recap another week of beautiful violence. Let's start off with Noche UFC. Actually, how is everybody? I hope everybody's doing all right. It's been a long week for me. There's a lot of stress coming out. I've been working a lot more lately. But I'm still trying to crank these out, so that's what's up. At least I'm trying to do what I've been saying I've been trying to do, so there's that. And I'm going full afro today. I know, I need a freaking haircut. It's been like, what? I get like a haircut every, I think like 6 months. Sorry about that. Yeah, I get a haircut like about every 6 months or something. I'm getting too attached to my hair. I've had it for pretty long. Like a few years ago, I had it past my shoulder, and oh my goodness, if you've ever had long hair, albeit long curly hair, you do not understand how fucking difficult it is to just try and like make your hair look nice or put the product in, or how you have to comb it out. Oh my god, I especially combing it. I fucking hated combing my hair out. Jesus Christ, it was like the worst pain ever. Made me think I have like a sensitive scalp, but no, man, girls just do that on the regular. When they're like ripping their hair out. Oh my goodness, it fucking hurts so fucking bad. I do not miss having long hair. Man, that was 3 years. I'm 3 summers worth of long hair, and that was just some fucking bullshit. Honestly, I'm so glad, but I feel like now this length is pretty okay. I'm good. I'm good with this length here. I'm good with this amount of growth. I'm fighting a losing battle here with my hair. But I gotta set myself up to go to Turkey at some point. So this YouTube shit gotta pay off because those flights ain't cheap. But let's talk Noche UFC. This last weekend we had Diego Lopez versus John Silva. As we know, the Fighting Nerds not coming off a great streak right now. We just had Caio Borralho lose in France to Nasruddin Imavov, and Houfi in the same night. So John was the last of the Fighting Nerds to get a dub, and unfortunately, it did not go his way. Diego Lopez with both of them coming out swinging. It was a absolutely back and forth slugfest in the main event. Diego was able to get John down off a spinning kick, which, man, sometimes those spinning shit, you throw that's, if you don't know how to recover, that's life or death. I'm talking Chris Weidman right now. That was some spinning stuff that didn't make sense, Who else? Somebody else got caught like that. And they got taken down immediately and just mauled, but I'm pretty sure it's happened much more times. But Diego was able to capitalize and hold John down even in transition into the mount pretty easily, raining down these absolute elbows from the mount using the 12-6 method, the one that got John Jones disqualified. Yeah, man, I think I was hearing DJ talk about that you don't need much space to create damage with the 12-6. You're going up and down, so you can do this. That's my fucked up elbow, my fucked up shoulder. I keep saying my fucked up elbow, my messed up shoulder, but you can generate a lot of power from here. It gives you that Joe Rogan. It's like, yeah, I don't get a lot of power from here, but from here,
you can hit hard like that, but I can hit him way harder like that. Fuck him.
But yeah, an absolute and I don't know. Diego's elbows are like Tony's. You got like knives at the end of them. Cut him up from the top of his head, the side of his head. Those were really, really effective elbows that he had been throwing. But John, I got to give it to him. He has such an unpredictability when he starts getting loose. He was throwing a lot of spinning shit. It wasn't only that spinning kick that got him. He was trying to throw spinning elbows. He was changing it up really, really good. And what I think John could have took more advantage of was that sneaky teep that he had. That one kick right up the middle. I think it caught it caught Diego right by surprise. What it really reminded me of was Justin Gaethje and his roundhouse kicks, where he can be really, really close, really tight to you and throw this just weird kick where he like bends his body down and throws it over the top. And it goes right behind your shoulder, so you can't really see it. And Diego has such a high guard that teep would have been good to get distance away, to not let Diego come in and, unload his combinations. But John did it, I think, like 3 times where he used his teep like really, really effectively. I mean, Diego didn't even see it coming. So I wish he would have used more of that teep. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I think it was a round and a half of just these boys throwing straight leather. They did not care about anything. They went straight to it. And John, his face is just so messed up, like so messed up. I believe afterwards that they basically like buried the hatchet, I guess. I don't know. It still seemed very tension. They had a lot of tension in there. But yeah, let's look at the rest of the night. I mean, let's see this. So we had David Martinez defeating Rob Font. I mean, David Martinez looking like a beast out there, pointing to the ground a minute in, and really stunting Rob Font. I mean, they were both kind of up in each other's faces, but Rafa Garcia defeating Jared Gordon. I mean, these Mexican boys came out to fight. But Jared Gordon, I wanted to go back to him. I think during the match or after, Bilal Muhammad had said that Jared got hit by a car, which is crazy to think that, it's such, I guess no out of context getting hit by a car and then showing up to your fight with just a knee brace. Obviously, it didn't hit him that hard enough for him to be like, I got to go to the hospital. I can't, whatever. But I think Jared Gordon, after that, details that a car did hit him and ran over his foot, and he tweaked his ligament. I believe he said his MCL in his knee, and he still showed up to fight. It really makes me think like people like Connor when he broke his pinky toe or hurt his pinky toe, and Gable, and I think to the CJI where he had his turf toe, pulling out for these sort of feet injuries. And but Jared Gordon getting your foot run over, tweaking your ligaments, and still showing up to fight. And he still put on a good performance. I mean, he was going toe to toe with this guy. It wasn't probably the best Jared Gordon, but it was still somebody who showed up to fight. Yeah, let's keep going down the results. Kelvin Gastelum defeating Dustin Stoltzfus after Kelvin missed 5 pounds. That is crazy because that is your job. You're in the UFC. You got to first make the weight, show up to fight. The 2 main parts of your jobs. And I remember wrestling, if you made the weight, that's it. You just made the weight as much as you can. I remember being in high school and watching some of my friends. Luckily, I never had to really cut weight, so I don't know the true struggle, but having to be around that and seeing all my homies in high school like spit in cups and spit and spit and spit and do all these things to try and lose the weight, it was crazy. I fluctuated in weight pretty easily, so it wasn't too hard for me to lose or gain weight at the time. But man, and this isn't like the last or the first time that Kelvin has missed weight. I mean, I think somebody had mentioned that he had missed weight basically 7 times. ITP, I think In the Pocket MMA had a funny video of basically Kelvin losing the weight and got a bunch of clips together, and his commentary is so funny. If you guys have a chance, check out ITP MMA. That dude has some funny takes on some videos. But yeah, shout out to Dustin Stoltzfus for taking the fight. Even it could have went the Patricky, Pitbull, and the other guy way, where the guy was just like, no, you didn't make the weight. Patricky was like, no, you didn't make the weight. That's it. Fight's over. And that's what could happen. And I'm also thinking, why does Kelvin Gastelum, obviously he's a Hall of Famer, he got some cred in the UFC. I think was interim champ. But he has the Sam Alvey treatment. And if you guys don't know who Smiling Sam Alvey is, please look him up. if you've been a fan for the UFC for a long time, you know who Sam Alvey is. He's fighting in Karate Combat now, got a better chance. I think he's the champ, which is crazy to think, but they will just not let Kelvin go, and especially with the win right now. I mean, it's going to take a miracle for him to make weight, and this is like a different weight class, I believe. So that's crazy that Kelvin is still in the UFC with even people like Brian Battle lose the weight. I mean, can't make the weight, and he gets cut like the next fucking day. You know, it's crazy. Alex Hernandez defeating Carlos Diego. Alex Hernandez has been growing on me so much since, I guess, I mean, he's been fighting obviously since the Cerrone fight, but man, if you guys don't know who Alex Hernandez is from a long time ago, when Donald Cowboy Cerrone was still in the UFC, they had a press conference and Donald gave him the fucking true UFC legend ass whooping that he deserved.
I just see myself facing an insecure little lad swinging on a saddle with a pop gun and a feather in his hat.
I can't wait for Saturday, man. I'm excited.
Static about Saturday.
Static, yeah.
Be
But
a
listen,
fun
my little friend, I'm not one to sit there and talk. So if you got like big things to say, we're fighting on Saturday. Keep it professional. We just stood in the back. You didn't have much to say. So if you do,
You didn't have much to say either, partner. I'll tell you this, little friend, I'll be sending your geriatric ass fucking yeehawing back to the stables on Saturday.
I know, I understand you're talking live, and Saturday's coming, so let's fight for money on Saturday. But I'm not the guy to sit here and talk shit to you because I know what floor you're on. They fucked up and put me in the wrong room. I'm right next to you, little motherfucker. So if you have something to say, you can come knock on my door, okay?
We've seen for years when you're forced into a pure stand-up battle with Donald Cerrone, not many guys win. Not many guys win, but that is down. That's that kick John was calling for.
Cowboy looking to close the show.
Hernandez is tough though.
Huge right hands on the ground. Hernandez nearly out. That's it. Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
And it seems from recent interviews that Alex has grown up and become a little bit more professional in how he speaks about people and how he speaks about his opponents and all that, because I mean, that was a wild video. So it's cool to see him grow and mature in the ranks of the UFC, become more of a professional, become probably somebody who he wanted to be at some point, you know, I guess. But he had a win. And he had a quick turnaround over the KO of Chase Hooper last month. You know, so another win in the dub column for El Gran Chango, Alex Hernandez. Also, sick ass fucking name. I mean, he's been everything. I think he was Alexander the Great also. But El Gran Chango fits him, seems like. We got Santiago Luna defeating Kwang Lee. Dusko Todorovic versus defeats Jose Daniel Medina. I guess the only notable other win of this is Tatiana Suarez defeating Amanda Lemos. You know, just wrestling her way back into the win column. A former title challenger from my neck of the woods, actually. And good to see her get another win. You know, she's got to stick to what she knows, and that's wrestling. If she's got to wrestle, fuck somebody till they completely quit, then that's what's got to happen. I would like to see her striking get better, but if you know, wrestling works, it works. But other than that, what I want to see next, I really want to see Lerone Murphy fight for the title. I don't want to see another Diego versus Volk situation. Diego's on a hot streak right now, and the only thing I think that makes sense, and honestly, you can even say this from an entertainment standpoint, is Diego versus Yair. We got a little taste of it at the press conference before. Why can't we have it now? They have bad blood. I say give Lerone the shot. I mean, if you have Lerone versus Volk, you have two fighters with complete and pure heart that will fight literally till the when I say till the death, I think this is one of those ones that they will fight to the death in order to be the champ. I'd rather and then honestly, I want to see some new blood fighting for some titles. I feel like there's a lot of I don't know. I feel like there hasn't been too much like shakeups in the division, I guess. You know, Hamzat versus DDP. Everybody kind of knew that Hamzat was gonna fucking wrestle the shit out of DDP, and that's exactly what he did. Pantoja's on a tear. Ankalaev is getting his next title defense again with Alex, so it's another rematch. Cyril Gane and Tom Aspinall, they fought already. Yeah. I guess Hamza, but that's like way down there. And Nasruddin Imavov, I think, is going to slip right into that. I think he's going to get the title shot. And that's fresh, but that's who knows when Hamzat's fighting next. So I say that. And that's what I say. Also this weekend, that same Saturday, which was awesome that they didn't fucking have to compete. One ended and the other one started. So it was awesome. We had Crawford versus Canelo on Netflix. The biggest boxing event of probably the last like fucking 5 years, I think, besides Conor Floyd. It's the last time I can remember something being that went through. You know what? I'm lying. I believe it was the biggest boxing event for boxers and people who follow the event because it was a guy coming up multiple weight classes in order to capture all the titles that Canelo had. So, you know, it probably was for a lot of people. So, first I want to say, coming from the UFC, coming from that fucking round and a half slobber knocker and elbows and blood and fucking John Silva's face looking like an absolute like Play-Doh set, just bumps and bruises and shit coming all out of his face. The pacing is just so difficult to get behind. You know, the urgency of fighters wanting to finish a fight, minus the third fight in Bailey versus Martinez. That was a great boxing fight. Maybe not a lot of skill. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but those guys were just throwing bombs. And so it was just hard. I think it's mainly the pacing thing. You know, boxing takes fucking forever. 12 rounds, 3 minutes. And it doesn't feel like there's much urgency, but it is what it is. I still watch it anyways. So Crawford beats Canelo in you know, I would say it was a close fight, but definitely stunted Canelo in his game. Bud really showed that he was not somebody you want to play with. His energy was very much like, I'm about to show the world why I'm the best. That's the aura I got from him. First of all, coming out to Tool, half of Tool, that already instantly ups your aura like 5,000. I was screaming at my TV saying, I'm ready to hear 46 and 2, and I'm going to literally and levitate because. But nobody has fucking ever asked him, why did they have half of Tool there? Why did they have a bit of Tool there? And then going to the Desperado song, like, you know, it was a very interesting. I do think that the song choice was very funny. You know, obviously he said that his theme was like Desperado, the movie. And Ilya and him have been having back and forth of, you don't know me, I don't know you, yes you do know me, and so it's firing up. It's firing up. You know, there seems to be some money fight there, and I'm here for it. But other than that, Bud gets the win. I mean, he makes history, and really showed the world who Terrence Bud Crawford is. If you didn't know, now you know. The co-main, Vargas Jr. versus Callum Walsh. So I honestly don't know what kind of fucking ball gurgling Dana White did to get Callum in that spot, but oh my goodness, what a boring fucking fight. Oh, no urgency. That's where I got it mainly from, that fight. No urgency to finish the fight on both sides. On Callum's side, on Vargas Jr.'s side. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than that. But it felt, I don't know, it was just boring to watch. And I guess the adrenaline dump from the fight before must have been like crazy, because I was just like, damn, I cannot wait to get this main event started. But the fight under that, Mbili versus Martinez. Oh my goodness. I think that fight stole the show, honestly. Just pure entertainment. Absolute. Like if they were just phone booth fighting, they did not want to take their foot off the center of it, like the tire drill, where you put your feet right in the center and you're not supposed to take your foot out until you fucking push them out, box them out, whatever. You guys just sit there and fight. That's what those guys were doing. I mean, they were going uppercut for uppercut. They were boom. Absolutely. It was awesome. Awesome fight. And how those guys didn't go down blows my fucking mind, honestly. I think a draw was the only way it could have ended. I say run it back immediately. I'm trying to see Uppercut Fest 2. But other than that, great. It was a good Saturday night of fights, honestly. Had me like pretty buzzing the whole day. All right, let's get down to BKFC 80. So, honestly, that was Pedromo versus Zambayo. Oh, no. Perdomo versus Adams. BKFC 80 live in Hollywood, Florida. So, really, what stands out from this fight? And obviously, it needed some name value. So, who do they put in there? The most jacked fucking 48-year-old man you've ever seen in your life. The debut of the Soldier of God, Yoel Romero. Absolutely lived up to the hype. I mean, first of all, you see this guy in the weigh-ins, absolutely ripped. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, everybody wants to look like Yoel Romero at fucking 48. He had multiple knockdowns of his opponent. Said he wants Darren Till next. It just reminds me of the time that Darren said,
as I say, confidence lacking, confidence high. I believe I beat them all. I do. I truly believe with me, the way I know I can train and my mindset is and my skill set, I can beat them all.
A lot of people sort of talking about Yoel Romero possibly getting this
Oh,
title.
fuck that guy. Well, I don't want to ever fight him. He's a beast.
I was going to ask you, he's coming off a loss.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying you're now coming off a win. I mean, logically, don't you think it makes sense for you to fight?
Listen, not make sense anymore. We've just seen...
yeah, but I'm glad to see Yoel in the spotlight again. Even if it's in one of the most brutal sports, I think this guy's going to do right wherever he's at. The main event, Perdomo decimating his opponent with the first round, knocking him down twice with the flurry of punches and finishing him. So congrats to Perdomo. Let's see the rest of the card. Edgar Plazola defeats Gary Fox via unanimous decision in the co-main. Yoel defeating Theo Dukas. David Simpson defeating Jeremy Smith via TKO in round 1. Oh, I'm lying. Yoel Romero TKO'd him in round 2. My bad. Bobby Henry defeating Stash Quickendall in round 2. So congrats to all those winners. Next event for BKFC we have is BKFC 81 in Manchester. DeGale versus Floyd. September 27th at the Manchester AO Arena in Manchester. We got James DeGale versus Matt Floyd. Clean record fighters. In the co-main, we got a light heavyweight battle between Aaron Chalmers and Jack Fincham. 1-0 versus 0-0. Probably the Johnny Graham versus Naveed Mansouri at lightweight. And these boys in Manchester, they're going to come and fight. John Chip Chase versus Louis Garside. 3-1 versus 1-0. Dex Spellman versus Dawid Shalinsky, 1-0 versus 4-2. David Oscar versus Travis Dickinson and cruiserweight. David Oscar 5-2. Travis Dickinson 1-1. And a multitude of other fights that I won't get into. Seems like this David Oscar guy is the most seasoned person here. But that's the next fight for BKFC 81. So we had some news this week. On the 15th, we figured out that Aaron Fluffy Hernandez was injured. Paulo Costa tweeting that he was offered a fight, but I believe they're going to give it to somebody else. Honestly, I don't know what the fucking tweet was. But we got news saying that number 4, Reinier de Ridder, will fight number 11, Brendan Allen. And that's the kind of like shakeup that I like. You know, you got this guy, number 11, coming up to fight the number 4th guy who's on a fucking hot streak right now. And some people are saying, why not just wait? You're the number 4th ranked guy. Let the other dudes fight it out. And then blam, right? Or maybe you're going to have to fight Nasruddin later on if you waited. But, you know, to give a guy like Brendan Allen a chance, it makes me think that RDR is just a dude who likes to fight. You know, he was the one double champ at some point. Makes me think that this guy likes to fight. He's obviously on a hot streak because his skills are that good, dispatching people like Robert Whittaker, beating the shit out of Bo Nickel, you know, like, you know, but it gives this little bit of just electricity to the division, having somebody as low as Brendan Allen come fight. I mean, we had shockers. We've had people like Joshua Van come up and fight outside of his rank, or just this big leap up and show that his level is above what his actual ranking is. So let's see if Brendan Allen can pull one out and get a dub here. Hopefully Fluffy comes back, and, you know, they'll probably have new plans for your mans right there. And on Tuesday, we got a nice little 5-pack of fights. A nice little 5-packer. They couldn't give us a 6-packer. They gave us the 5-packer. Somebody took a beer out of the fucking pack at the liquor store. So, what we got added to our UFC 322 fight in New York. With the main event being Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. No. I'm blanking so hard what weight class they are. Anyways, we're getting Bisinger Susurkayev versus Eric Mikoniko, which Bisinger is the Hamzat's like homie who was on the Dana White Contender Series and then fought like 3 days later and beat the shit out of the guy. So this guy is one of those dudes who just has this absolute workhorse mentality. Awesome. We got Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. Going to be wrestling versus jiu-jitsu. Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. I believe that is going to be an absolute barn burner of a fight. I think those guys are going to throw. Rodriguez is tough as nails. You remember that photo of him with his freaking head split open. And we get Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. 5-pack. Oh, is that a 4-pack? Fuck. Oh, my fucking God. Guys, I'm so tired. It's been such a long day. I work in the sun, and I'm wearing contacts, and I'm a little stoned. And so my eyes are so dry. Like, I feel like it's taking me everything to keep them up. To keep them moisturized. Anyways, I guess just a little life update. I fucked up my shoulder in Hawaii. want to say like a month ago at this point, and I'm having such a hard time like having to do exercises and things. It hurts like all the time. But yeah, life's good right now. You know, guys, just keep doing your thing and whatever. This is Jason with the Scraps and Taps. I will see you guys next freaking week.